Welcome to Swamp Bites here at Swamp Shangri-La, rural living in the heart of the South Carolina Low Country. Very steamy day today, probably around 97 degrees with the sun shining. Woo, gonna be a hot one. On with the show. We are going to discuss on this episode of Swamp Bites equipment selection. To my right, you see the newest addition to the family, Big Blondie, as I affectionately call her now. 1971 250C International Harvester Dresser Track Loader. To my left, you see, as you've always seen, Little Red, our handy dandy 2065 Massey Ferguson with an L200 loader on it. Now, these are our prime pieces of equipment now. Some of you are probably like, wow, Big J, why did you go out and buy Big Blondie? I'll explain. 2,500 pounds lift capacity. I could probably push the gauntlet and run it around 3,200, as you've seen that I've done. Is that a good thing to do? No, it's not. Are you playing with fate? Yes, you are. Will fate eventually take over? Yes, it will. Big Blondie, around 27,000 pounds worth of lift capacity. Do I think I could probably have the willpower to tax the hydraulics and the lift capacity of Big Blondie? Yes, I do. Do I think it's probably going to happen? Well, if I try to move an entire 36-inch diameter tree, folks, it probably will happen. But if I cut the tree in half or into thirds, I doubt very seriously if it will happen. But let's talk about this. The idea of this episode is equipment selection. Let's say you and your significant other are deciding to get 30 acres of land. You're going to take the plunge. You've already had a driveway and a living area punched by an individual that owns a track loader or a dozer. And they have you set up. You have a power head and septic tank set up, and you're going to do a travel trailer out there, guys. If your wife's down with living that way, you better hold on to that woman. That's the best thing I can say to you. So now, you want to do the work yourself. Okay, now there's a lot of merits to hiring someone to get in and out and do it. You just have to get quotes, find out what they're going to do, what's included with the price, what is not included, what your vision is for your property versus the reality of the contractor's delivery. These are the things that you have to investigate and you have to weigh out. I'm not ruling out getting a guy at all. Getting a guy can be beneficial because they have the equipment and they're in and out. The question is it's rates versus on your ability to pay, because contractors get paid then and there. It isn't a layaway program, I assure you. It isn't like going and buying a car, I'll finance it. That doesn't work that way. Contractors go away with a check or a credit card and their money. That's the way it goes. That's how you deal with contractors. So, we're going to use a scenario that you decide to do it yourself. The question you need to ask yourself is, what do you need to make it happen? Do you need Little Red or do you need Big Blondie? Well, since you were talking about land clearing, you're talking about knocking down timber as a whole, digging up stumps, you're talking about moving entire sections of tree, you're talking about really industrial grade work. Folks, I'm going to say you need to go a Big Blondie. Now, you're probably sitting back, it's like, whoa, Big J, that's a lot of money. Allow me to explain something to you fine viewers. Little Red, it's a 2012 Massey Ferguson tractor, very old school. Little Red cost us $16,000. All right, baseline. Now, Big Blondie right here was made in 1971. It's as old as your big buddy Jay. It came off the assembly line in 1971, and in 1971 dollars, it probably cost around $95,000 brand new. In 2019 money, it probably cost you, probably about $350,000. Now, it's a very well maintained, used machine, solid as a drum. Mechanical functions are fine. It's a sound piece of equipment. It cost me the same amount of money as a Little Red, 16 grand. That's what it cost, plus delivery. You will pay a heavy haul driver to get something like this here, but it's a one-time deal of, you're only moving that thing one time. Unless you decide to go into business. If that's your avenue and that's the route you're going to take, there you go. You might want to investigate getting a Class A CDL and everything thereof, though. Not paying somebody. But you can see what I always try to drive home as a point, and it's called an economic base. This is very economically viable. Yes, it has a very much larger diesel tank. This has a 50-gallon diesel tank. 8 hours of usage, you will go through 50 gallons of diesel. Yes, you have to buy hydraulic fluid, transmission fluid, engine oil, gear oil, everything. You are really getting into the lubrication works and petrodollar. But that is what it takes to maintain machinery, guys. There's no ands, ifs, or buts. If you're going to have any kind of piece of machinery ever at your disposal, you will have to maintain this machinery. There is no discussion. Otherwise, you're going to have a lawn ornament. Can you breathe life back into the lawn ornament? Yes, within reason, as long as the engine isn't seized up. After then, it's a lawn ornament. But I'm going to say, based on whatever you're doing, you're going to want a heavier piece of machinery. Now let's discuss the advantages of a track loader versus a dozer. If you have a dozer, which a dozer has a single flat blade, and all it does is push. You could use a dozer for lifting, but you're going to have to get a couple pad eyes welded to the top of the blade and use some heavy chain for rigging. That is the advantage of a loader. If you want to put stuff in a dump truck, you want to put stuff on a burn pile, you want to dump stuff in a shredder or a big old chipper, you may do so with a loader. All you can do with a dozer is just push stuff on top of each other and fire in the hole, let's burn. So, I hope I've given a little bit of clarity when it comes to what you need to think about when it comes to equipment selection, purely what you're going to be operating on your property, and a little bit of an economic standpoint of where you stand coming in the door. Again, no matter what you do, investigate. Go, operate, check it out. See how you feel about it. If you don't feel good about it, then by all means, don't do it. That's the best thing I can tell you. If you're not sure about it, see if you have a comrade that does know something about it and get a little bit of a standpoint from them. Because you might be new to the game, and if you are, continue your journey. Welcome. If you guys ever need any help, drop us a line. We'll try to help you all any way we can. Do your due diligence, folks. Do your due diligence. Investigate, because you may not need a high-dollar tractor. Not that this is one, but there's plenty out there. You may not need one coming in the door because it may not serve your best purpose. And in the end, when you're done with your rig, your loader, your dozer, whatever you decide to go into, you can turn around and sell it. Half the time, the heavy industrial place that sold you to start with, you use it for a couple years at your leisure, and you want to turn around and flip it, oh, they will be more than happy to flip it for you on consignment. That was the backstory on this. The owner had it for 2 years. He bought it from a heavy industrial place. Guys, if you're watching, appreciate all your hard work and service. And pretty much that was the deal. And then he bought it 2 years ago, and then we flipped it, and then pretty much I got it. And the salesman already put it out there, hey, if you want to, when the time is due and you want to get rid of it, let me know. So that is an approach you may take. So basically, you can get your money back. Now, during the course, you're going to want to invest money in it to make sure you get good return. And if you do that, and you do enough investment, you may find you could probably ask more because you're making it a more viable piece of machinery. And really, guys, the parts for this thing are not that unreasonable at all. Not at all. So, we hope this has given a little bit of clarity, and we'll see you on the next one.